I know that just jumping right into my YouTube channel without any kind of background is probably not the greatest thing, but how do you introduce yourself when you're a 50-year-old man who has lived more than just the life of a person who clocked in, clocked out, repeat? I've done so much, and yet none of the things I've done are necessarily who I am. So I thought I would at least introduce myself by telling you why I am currently in the process of moving off grid, and that has a lot to do with who I am in the sense that it has to do with my negatives. So I've talked briefly, or not so briefly, about misophonia, but ultimately I am and have and suffer from a wonderful combination of Asperger's, Tourette's, misophonia, depression, a lot of negatives. It means I'm an antisocial introvert who would like to like people and would like to be involved, but typically feels incredibly uncomfortable very quickly. So, what I ultimately look for are very close friends and a very close, female romantic relationship with a female. Um, so, it's been, I think I said this before in the other post, it's been since 2018 was the last time I had what you might consider a normal job. A lot of that has to do with all the negative mental things that I just mentioned. Uh, Top of the list is the misophonia. I have a hard time in places that where I can't control my surroundings. So if I'm in a business that has music playing and I can't control what the music is, then I don't last very long. If the business has machinery that makes a lot of noise that I can't control, then I don't last for very long. So I've done my best to make my own money, especially in the adult sector, but the more time has gone by and the less co-stars I've had to go with, to film with, the less likely it has been to cover my bills. So basically, for the last few years, I've barely gotten by. Definitely more of a survive than a thrive kind of situation. So, at the end of December last year, I started working for Amazon Flex, and I did that for 100 days straight. And as a result of that, I was able to purchase an acre and a half or so in southern Oregon, and I'm going to move off grid, and hopefully the desert land that I moved to that has no barking dogs, no traffic, hopefully no birds, that is just utter quiet and desolation. Hopefully that will help my mental problems, at least the misophonia, and I plan on living off grid, becoming self sufficient, certainly doing solar energy, trying to collect rainwater. Might have to drill a well, I don't know. Um, but just gonna exist outside of society and the things that bother me. And it's not the perfect situation, but as a result of the misophonia, especially, I am pretty much in constant fight or flight. I spend every waking moment either reacting badly to the noises around me or doing my best to hide from them by wearing headphones and having, you probably can't hear it, but there's a fan on in the background as well. And I sleep during the day and I'm up at night because that's when it's less likely to be noisy. So it's not a great existence. I certainly don't want to go and live all by myself in the middle of nowhere. There are some things that appeal to me in this situation, but ultimately I'm going to be very lonely and unhappy, which is why shortly, either before or after I go, I'm going to at least start by adopting, rescuing animals to give them a better life and give me a better life. And maybe that's how I'll end my life, is turn my acre and a half into I don't know, like a animal sanctuary or whatever. But The important thing to know is that I don't function well in society. I don't function well around people. I can hardly exist. So this move is for me to hopefully reset in a very big way and kind of end my years on a positive note. I've worked very hard and not so hard throughout my life to get here. I do feel like I deserve this chance, and I just hope I can make the best of it. But that's why I'm moving off grid, and that's a small part of who I am. A very, very specific introduction, or another introduction, or an extension of the last introduction. That's me. Whoops, hey.